Welcome to the Level 2 Body Comp Assessment. My name is Carl. I'm going to take you through the do's and don'ts and what you need to know when performing the body comp assessment. So the first thing to know is that there are 12 sites here and you need to know them from 1 to 12. If you tell me them in a different order, I'm going to auto-correct you. So the 12 sites that you need to remember in order is chin, cheek, pec, tricep, subscap, mid-ax, suprailiac, umbilical, knee, calf, quad, hamstring. The reason for this order is we're going to get them to stand, to sit, to lie down. We don't want to be going up and down constantly. So we want to be able to do it all standing and then lying down or sitting. So there is a flow to this for a reason. It's also tracked with the data. So you're not going back and forth. So on your computer, you can just press tab and it'll shift to the next one. The second thing to know with the body comp assessment is that you need to take front, side, back photos because you need to be able to track that progress. Recommendation for guys is Speedos or board shorts, so I recommend swimwear, and for the ladies, bikini or crop top short shorts. Make sure to take those photos. Again, if you're starting with a client, make sure they feel comfortable and safe. You may just take photos with the clothes on, and over time as they get leaner, they feel more comfortable or more prepared to bring that clothing through. Remember, if you're not tracking, then you're guessing, and the thing is at the end of the 12 or 24 weeks of that cycle, when they're thinking about re-signing, you need to have that data to show them, look at how far we've come, or they might not take your advice at all, and you can say, look here, fucker, recommended this, you haven't done that, I can tell you right now, you've put on weight, your sights have gone up. So how about we actually do what I recommend? And I go, maybe. Like, I've had people that have worked with me for a year, recommend, and they're like, no, I'm good. They're training, they get stronger, they build a bit of muscle, but they haven't dropped the fat. And then they take my advice and like, oh my God. It's like, yeah. So remember to do that. Number 3, when you've got the calipers, make sure to mark the sights with a pen and then make sure that caliper is recalibrated to 0. Don't just assume it's always going to be there, make sure to double check so it's always consistent. Number 4 is do 2 sights at a time. If you can do all 12, great. And last but not least, it should take you no more than 5 minutes to do all that with retesting it every site 3 times. Bonus tip, when you're doing the contact, it's a broad contact going from a U, letter U, into a C. So you should be able to put your hand against their face, pull across, beautiful pull. It shouldn't be hold on her, and it shouldn't be a slap in the face, and they should have red marks. However, if you're pinching them, and they have red marks, that's an indication of inflammation. So you could be making some recommendations to improve blood flow in that area. You've got cardio, improving omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium to help them with sleep so the body can detoxify, drinking more water, adding electrolytes to help them hydrate. These are all things that can help improve the body composition very quickly and safely. Hey guys, welcome to the Level 2 testing where we're going to take you through the body comp assessment. You're going to need your calipers and you're going to need to make sure that when you get the calipers, you make sure it's calibrated to the 0. If it's offset, make sure to tweak that and adjust it. So to get started, when you're going to begin this with anyone, you need to make sure that you mark all the sites with a pen. So we've already gone ahead and done that and marked Eddie. So with each site, you're going to notice the first site is the chin. Chin lifts up. Find broad contact across the jawline and then mark from there. If you literally put your thumb on top, you'll find it's your thumb knuckle. Chin comes down, then you'll get them to go into a lunge, so lunge forward for me. And then you're going to find from the eye to the lip, a line straight into the middle, like where both those lines meet. That is where you want to mark the site. The second thing to note is you shouldn't be pulling on their lip or their cheek so much that their lips move. It should be soft contact when grabbing the site that the lips don't move. Standing up. The next site, so you'll take your shirt off. Now you can do this without the shirts. With shirts on, you just obviously, for example, like the shorts, keep them on. Just pinch the shorts. They're actually 2 mil. So anything from the quad, if it got in the way or hamstring, I just -2 from the site. So the next site is 2 fingers from the nipple for the males, right on. Or what you can do is get the caliper, put it in line with the nipple, and the edge of the caliper, that creates that 2 centimeter difference for you. Next side, turn side on. We go into the tricep. So from the top of the shoulder to the elbow, find the middle, boom, straight in the middle. Remember to cue, arm lifts up when we reach, and then we broad contact, bring it all the way down, and that's the side. Next one, subscapular, right hand comes behind the hip, border of the scapula pops out, and it's 1 centimeter or so, 1 finger away from a 45-degree angle of the subscap. Then the next side, we're going to do Eddie turns face on, right hand behind his head, and then we're going into the mid-axe. The mid-axe, we go from the hip, ibral tuberosity, from the middle of the armpit, or where his tricep head attaches to and to the lat, middle of that, and that's his mid-axillar. Then from there, straight down from the hip, that's the suprailiac, 45 degrees for both of these. Then straight across to the umbilical, we go from the middle of the umbilical 2 centimeters, get that caliper, boom, straight over there. Then down, we come into the knees, find the middle of the knee, make the mark through the middle there. Then turn the foot out at 45 degrees, or if you've got Eddie's mobility 90, biggest portion of the calf, straight in the middle, that's where the calf mark is. Turn the foot back in, come back up to the thigh, from the ibral tuberosity, from the knee, straight down into the middle, and that is the quad mark. Then you'll get them to lie on the stomach. Eddie will keep staring for this one. Eddie, then you get them lie on the stomach, bend the knee, and it's 1 centimeter away from that glute fold. Okay? Alrighty, so let's get into the second part of the body comp assessment with myself and Eddie. Now, Eddie is always shirtless, of course. No, but for the assessment, we recommend people take the shirts off, but for the ladies, they wear crop tops or bikinis, obviously being professional. But if someone feels uncomfortable not wearing a shirt, they don't want to take their shirt off, then they keep their shirt on and you just pinch their clothing. So for example, Eddie's pants, we pinch, they're 2 centimeters, so we minus 2 centimeters. If it was 2 centimeters for everything, we just minus it from all the sides. So to start with, we're going to work on all 12 sides. So we got the chin, cheek, we got pec, tricep, subscap, mid-axe, suprailiac, umbilical, knee, calf, quad, hamstring. So 12 sites in total. So site number 1, chin up. We're going to work the chin. So for the chin, we go for a broad contact across the jawline. We pull it up to the tip and pinch down. Caliper goes 45 degrees, so perpendicular to that site. We pinch it a few times, then we release, and then release the hand, 3.2. For the second site, we then get them to lunge forward, because if I go to measure this site here, I can't see the caliper reading. So we get people to lunge forward, back knee down, straight across from the eye to the lip, contact, pull through. Remember, you're not pulling on that lip. Recalibrate a few times, get the number, release the hand, then they stand, 4.2. Now for the pec, side on. Now I want to be side on from Eddie here, so I am going to be reaching this hand over. Okay. Remember, for the if you're doing with females, check the female channel out, or remember it's 2 centimeters from the shoulder or from the armpit. Okay, so we measure, we get them to push their thumb into the thigh here so we can actually get a strong contraction of their pec, because it's a body fat test, and then we pull, then we get them to relax, and then we pinch. With the pec, there is this flick effect, that's removing the fascia, so we've got is the fat mass. All right, then we turn through, side on. Now we've got the tricep, top of the shoulder from the elbow. The good thing is, if you've already marked it, it's pretty easy. Straight into the side, get them to lift their arm up. Now, one thing to remember, when you're pinching, your hand should be above the mark. Don't go for the mark. So if I quickly do this, I get 5.6. If I do it below, I actually get 6.2. So for consistency, make sure your hand is above the mark when pinching. Okay? So to start, the tricep, hand on contact, arm lifts up. And what I do is I need to move, he relaxes the arm, and I pull through. That helps us to contract the tricep, and then we get the side 5.8. So a little bit easier, personally I find, to just pinch from here, but to start with, practice from up top. Right hand behind the back. So mid-axe, subscapular. So we're going 45 degrees from the border of this scap. So if we turn it a little bit more side on, going straight through here, index finger goes into the border of the scap, middle finger goes on top, and thumb goes from the spinous process. And we're just going to pull these together. So Eddie relaxes his arm. I push in, I pull with my middle finger to bring it all together. So we capture all that fat mass, and then there we go. And we get 10. All right. Then Eddie comes side on, or about 45 degrees. Then we're going to go right hand behind the head, straight onto that mid-axe, 45 degrees. So again, perpendicular, broad contact, pull through, and pinch. Release. Suprailiac, same thing, 45 degrees, broad contact, really getting that thumb to wrap around to get all that fat mass. Sometimes people just do this, but you're missing a lot from the back, so you've got to really wrap it around. And then 9. Then facing the front, We then go umbilical. Again, you'll notice I've been on side on quite a bit, so I'm not like in his face, no personal space. Now with the umbilical, we go 45, straight across, not 45 degrees, straight across, arm on top, pull through, pinch, and there we go. Drop down to the knees, same thing, broad contact, pull through. Turning the foot out at 45 degrees to 90, contact, split through, broad pinch, and release. Turn it back in, still standing, get the quad, squeeze and contract, and relax and pinch, and through. Now if you notice that someone has trouble with this, what you should do with the quad is get them to sit down, lift the knee up, extend the leg, and then relax the leg from there, so you get more ease of pinching that quad. Then the last one, lying on stomach. So make sure, I'm going to be doing the right leg, I stand on the left side, so we're going to be professional with the hands. Come down, bend the knee, they pull their shorts up for us, so we don't grab them. And then relax the leg, bring it all the way down, pinch and squeeze, and release. Done. So that is the body comp assessment. All right, let's go. Guys, welcome to the level 2 body comp assessment, where we're doing a 12-site skin fold assessment. Make sure when you get the calipers, you make sure to calibrate them to 0. So if you do, make sure you pull on that little dial and adjust that to suit. When you've done this, I recommend that you don't just go touching your hands. Make sure you get disinfectant, wipe it in front of the person, and then make sure you're not like they're dirty. So make sure your hands are clean. No coffee stains, nothing that's going to be like, oh, this is quite uncomfortable. Because again, you want to be as professional as you can and as comfortable in this situation. You can do this, so with Giuliani, we're doing this on the gym floor, and the way we're able to do this is with clothes. When you're doing with clothes, you can use caliper just to pinch onto the clothing itself. I got 1 mil on the top, and that's going to be my consistent marker when I'm working through this. Okay, so to start with, we're going to go chin up. And that's the chin, then chin down, lunge forward, she'll go cheek, then we're going to pec, tricep, subscap, mid-ax, suprailiac, umbilical, knee, calf, quad, and lying on our stomach, hamstring. Now, when you're doing this, you can explain each site. You can mark them. Check out Eddie's video, that's where we show all the markings. We're not going to do that to Giuliani today. But what you're going to be doing is explaining each site as we go along, so you're going to get some information out of this. So, to start with, we're going to go chin up. Find the 45-degree angle of the chin, go across the bone of the jaw, pinch together, chin down as we pinch, beautiful, and then we get our site 7.2. She's then going to lunge forward, bend the knee to the ground, in line with the eye and the lip, contact, pinch, not pulling on the lip, so it's smooth, so we're not getting fascia, we're just getting the fat, and we get 8 standing up. Now the first 2 sites are an indication of nutritional compliance, so if someone's in a calorie deficit or they're eating the right foods, those should be starting to go down. If maybe they have alcohol and it doesn't quite agree with them, then their facial features may go up. So if you do see the cheek or chin go up, you may ask them, hey, have you had anything in the last 2 to 3 days that may be off plan? And they might go, no. And then you'll look at them and they'll go, okay, maybe I had a glass, maybe I had some chocolate. I remember with Kate, she used to always eat chocolate once every 2 weeks just to test me. And I would always be like, you had chocolate last night. She's like, damn it. So this is a pretty powerful thing when assessing with people, but no, for Giuliani, her face doesn't go up when she has wine. It's actually her suprailiac which goes up. Because everyone's body responds differently, and just keep asking questions like, how's your day been? What have you been up to? What's changed? And you'll find that some sites go up, and you can start to make those correlations with people. All right, with the next one, we've got the pec. Now, Giuliani, lovely female, is wearing a bra. So we obviously ask them to take the bra to the side, so we're not pinching that or fondling it. Then we go caliper into the armpit, 2 centimeters from there, and then broad contact, thumb pushes into thigh to contract the pec. Then as I pinch, they relax their thumb and I get that contact. Now, there may be a bit of a pain face for Giuliani. So it's like, oh, did that hurt? Yep. That can be an indication of inflammation or tightness through the muscle fascia. So you could be improving mobility in their program, or also recommending anti-inflammatories like omega-3s, increasing the fats, olive oils, macadamia, which actually we're going to be doing for Giuliani. She's noticing this. So we're going to increase her fats, bring our carbs down a little bit for the next week. Now, for the next one, turn side on. So the pec and the tricep are our anabolic site. Okay, so finger on top of the shoulder, elbow, bring it together, pinch, and release. So you bring the arm up and then there you go. Now if the pec was 5 and the tricep was 15, the ratio should be 1 to 3, so it's a good ratio. However, we want 3 and 9. Note, if you have a female who's got a tricep less than 9, they're probably on anabolics. Right hand behind the back. Juliana's not. Yet. Now for the subscapular, we're going to bend the elbow behind the back. That's going to pop the subscap out. So we're going to turn a little bit more here. And then she's going to put my fingertip right on the border. Then I'm going to middle finger and thumb push right in to the border of the spine. She's going to relax her arm. I'm going to pinch and pull. And then I'm going to grab. Now I've got a bit of her bra here as well. So at 15, so I've got to make sure I grab that bra, because if I just grabbed her short, it'd be 1 mil, but I got the bra as well, so I got actually -3 because I went for the total site. So that puts her at 12. So this is your long-term carbohydrate site. So she's sitting at 12, that's pretty good. Ideally we want 10. Some people, if they're like less than 10, they probably favor more sweeter things. You might ask them like, do you like lollies or candy? They might go, yeah, I love it. So they'll probably favor more fruits and simple carbohydrates. Juliana sits around 10, 12. She does favor more pastas, like gluten-free pastas, of course. Pastas, yeah, it's normally her thing, pasta, bread. So a little more starchy resistant carbohydrates. If you think about on the earth, you've got close to the equator, they're more fruits and sweets, sweeter things, and then further away is more starchier carbs that will favor their long-term body comp. Okay, next one we're going to go right hand behind the head. Juliana's still going to face that way just so we can see, but 45 degrees. So from here, we're going to measure from the hip and then the armpit, bring it together. Now you'll find with some people they may have a landmark or a tattoo that you can use. Again, if the bra's in the way you ask them to move it, that's okay. And then we're going to broad contact 45 degrees with the caliper so I can see it. If it's here, I'm having to kind of lean into them. Again, 45 degrees, make it easy. Then release, we slide down to the hip bone. I didn't say lower your arm, so you want to be in control of this consult. Pull, so we've got mid-ax and then suprailiac. So this is our recovery site. So if they're finding they're not sleeping well or they're stressed or overloaded or maybe they're training too hard because you've done a max volume week, which you're intending for, then that should be at 5. But if you're seeing it elevate, then something to look at. Now, the mid-ax, suprailiac and umbilical, they're our trifactor site. So whichever one's the highest, prioritize that one. Okay, facing the camera for me. So we got the umbilical, point to the belly button. Now, she can point, or alternatively, relax your arm. Can you lift your shirt up so I can see your belly button? This is normally where people are okay to lift their shirt. Then we come across 2 centimeters, so caliper is right in the middle. My hands go above, broad contact, pull through, and there we go. Now, we had 15, 18, and 12. So this indicates that something's going on with food, so short-term carbohydrate intake. Now, from conversations with Juliana, we are aware that it's gone up a little bit. So what we've done is we've just changed the nutrition. So maybe they're getting hungrier, they want a little more sugar sweet because maybe they're stressed. So again, that's the next site. But what we do is we could probably increase her fats and to help keep those calories neutral, but bringing the carbs down. And that should help to balance that out. Cool. Now the next one, we're going to drop down to our knee. You can sit if you need. Grabbing onto their knee, pinch, just like so. Then turn the foot out, broad contact, pull it together, grab the calf. And the knee and the calf, there are sleep sites. So liver enzymes, how the liver's functioning and how they're sleeping. Calf is a good indication for growth hormone production, how their body's sleeping in deep state. So if they're not quite getting that, then maybe you need to work on their sleep. We saw that umbilical was up higher than 5, so it was the second side, and the calf was up. So we probably will want to work on her sleep, and we could be making recommendations of nighttime routines, magnesium, which, you taking magnesium?
Yes.
She is. We could probably recommend an increase of dose. Dark chocolate's quite good. As we mentioned, we're going to increase her fats, so that could be a good combat there. Chocolate's always delicious. Now for the quad, when we're working on the quadricep, we can do it standing. They flex their quad when performing this. Or, as you'll see in the video right now, we're getting Juliana to sit down, she's bending the knee and then extending the leg, and then we pinch the side just because we can grab that. Make sure that your caliper is facing away so you're not having your head in their chest. You're actually able to look away so you're just able to see and ask questions. Quad site is an indication of how we handle estrogens or chemicals in the body, so plastics, makeup. So you can be looking at what people applying to their face. And then for the hamstring, we get Giuliani to lie on his stomach, so we're going to lie down. And then we're going to go in, broad contact, and grab onto the quad. So she's going to bend a knee, we're going to reach the hand behind the glute, not on the glute, press down, and we're going to pull the pinky in as we grab to grab the site, and then we're good. And then we stand up. From there, we'll have a total of 12 sites. Enter in the data, and then it'll spit out body fat percentage and total sites. And then you explain, don't look at body fat, look at the sites itself. Enjoy. Thanks.